Hello, today we're going to talk about getting hired with Qkids. My name is Teacher Jackie and I am an ESL teacher. That means I teach English as a second language. If you're watching this video, you're probably interested in becoming an ESL teacher too. If you want to apply for Qkids, you can use this referral number, IWZDQP, and I can help you along the application process, or you can just follow the link below. I work for a couple of different companies as an ESL teacher, but today we're going to talk about Qkids specifically. That's the first company that I started to work for, and I love this job more than anything. If I won the lottery tomorrow, then I would still stay with this company. That's how much I love it. All right, so there are going to be quite a few videos as far as Qkids goes, but we're going to specifically talk about your optional sample video. So my very first piece of advice to you is to not make that an option, to submit it. You're going to be able to showcase your personality, and that's going to be able to get you the interview. So that's the best thing to do. While you're doing that video, you're going to want to concentrate on three things. So those three things are: 1, smile throughout the whole entire thing. 2, use total body response, TBR, which is, to dumb it down, it is to use body language. Use as much body language as possible. And then 3, be enthusiastic. The more enthusiasm that you have, the better the kids are going to respond. So you're going to use that in your sample video, you're going to use it in your interview, and you're going to use it throughout your classes. So it's important that you get it down now. Within that video, you are going to have 2 things. 1, your introduction, and 2, a story. So within your introduction, we're going to break that into 2 parts as well. 1, you're going to have your educational experience. Where did you go to school? Where did you graduate from? What did you major in? Do you need to major in education? No. You could have majored in anything. I'm majoring in marketing. What if you don't have a bachelor's degree? Can you still apply? Possibly. Are you a current student? If you are, then an exception can be made as long as you have the right personality. Moving on to your teaching experience. If you've taught in a brick and mortar school, fantastic. But what if you haven't? What other experience can you bring in? Well, did you homeschool your kids? Have you worked in a co-op? Have you coached something, anything? Did you teach your neighbors how to garden? If you work with kids in your everyday life or have children around you in your everyday life, most likely you have some type of teaching experience. For the right personalities, exceptions can be made as far as that teaching experience goes. So if you need help with that, then definitely contact me and I can help you through that. The more experience you have actually teaching kids in a classroom setting, or something similar, because this isn't an actual classroom, the better. But again, exceptions can be made. So let's move on to the story. You can do 2 different types of stories. You can tell a story, which is great because you can use more body language when you're not holding a book up, right? But you really have to be able to stay on task and stay focused, because you're not reading something, you're telling a story, and you might accidentally use more filler words. I'm probably using filler words in this video, actually. If you're reading a story, you don't want to keep going back and forth. So my advice to you, and what I did in my application, is I typed the words on a notepad so that I could keep eye contact with the webcam, and because when you're teaching the kids, you're going to want to keep eye contact with them as well, and then you can concentrate more on your body language and enthusiasm. So let's pretend that we are just starting this video. Hello, my name is Jacqueline, and I am a current student at Strayer University. I am studying marketing, and I'm going into my junior year. I have 17 years of teaching experience. I started being a preschool teacher when I was 16, moved up to a lead teacher. I've ran summer camps, and I homeschooled my children. I've been in the presidency of their PTO at their school, volunteered within their school, and I have ran multiple events groups. I currently run an event group with almost 200 adult members, and with the children it's about 800 members, and we have events throughout our county. I am going to read you Never Touch a Monster today. Alright, so do you ever want to touch a monster? No. Let's find out why. You must never touch a monster who has smiled at you and waved. He may look warm and friendly, but he's not well behaved. You must never touch a monster who has asked you for a round of tea. He wants to put you in the pot and eat you, probably. You must never touch a monster. It's a silly thing to do if he smiles at you and says, "How do you do?" You must never touch a monster. You must always hurry by. Just keep on walking past it. Don't look it in the eye. And don't ever touch a monster who's hungry for its lunch. It might just see you coming and decide to take a munch. All right, thank you for considering me. Have a wonderful day. And that was my sample video. So it wasn't perfect. This is probably the 100th time that I've tried to do this video, and my 2-year-old keeps interrupting. So we're going to go ahead and stop at this, this take. So it probably wasn't perfect, but it was a good example of what you want to do. So you want to use facial expressions. I used a little bit of body language, and hopefully I was smiling throughout that. She is currently playing music in the background, so I got a little bit distracted. If you are doing your actual video, you definitely don't want to have any distractions. Additionally, let's back up for a second and talk about your background. So I have a very colorful educational background, but I've been doing this for a while, so that's been set up. I changed my educational background around all the time and put different things in there. You don't have to set this all up for your sample video or your interview. If you do, that's great, that's fantastic. But what you do need to do is make sure you have a clean background. They don't want to see, you know, your bed, your couch, or your kids. They want to see a blank wall if you don't have something colorful. Obviously, if you do have something like this, it's going to get you a better chance at getting that interview, but it is definitely not required. Additionally, you want to make sure that you have lighting, the right lighting. So I have multiple lamps in this room, and again, I've been at this for a while, so I figured out what lighting works best for me. I do better when I don't wear my glasses because I don't have that glare, but I'm not doing that today. You also want to make sure that you're concentrating on shadows. If I was to have my headset like this, then it's going to have a shadow on my face, so I very carefully put it so that it either lines up with my face or goes down to where there's already a shadow on my neck. So just things like that you want to pay attention to. I kind of have my lamp situated so that I get the minimal glare as possible, with it still lightening up my face. So those are things that you want to concentrate on as well. Again, if you have any questions, definitely contact me. Also, you can send me your video and then I can watch them and critique them. Obviously mine, again, it wasn't perfect. But when you're submitting that, you want to make it as perfect as possible. It's obviously never going to be perfect, but you want to really showcase your personality, your voice, your enthusiasm, things like that. So I hope to speak with you soon, and let me know if you have any questions. Have a wonderful day. Bye.